Hello amazing people, welcome again back to a new tutorial guys. How you all doing? Hope you're all good and I hope you're doing great guys. Today I want to show you how to make this mixed print shirt dress. This one is a very easy one, detailed. So if you want to see this, then you need to sit back as I take you through it all. Trust me guys, it's very easy. So let's get there. So this is the fabric, of course, I'm using is a mixed print. So this pattern one is a satin fabric, okay, and while the plain one is Duchess. Yeah, so I'm mixing the two of them together, and of course I have my working tools as well to go with it. So what I'll do now is just to go ahead now and lay my fabric on the table, so get started. Now this is the first one I'm going to be cutting out now. You can see I have it mixed up already, so it doesn't matter which one stays on top or under. Okay, yes, so this one is going to be for the front piece. So what I'll do now, I'll just like to turn it over to the plain side so that our marking will be quite visible. So I'm going to align it this way. Now what I will do now is to go ahead now and take 3 inches first, and that's going to represent the button space, the button for the button allowance. So I'm marking 3 inches all the way to the length, depending on your desired length. So I'm going ahead to mark a straight line like you see me doing. So after that now, the next thing I'm going to do is just to indicate the vertical lines. So starting from the top there, I'll indicate the chest line. Okay, yes, so that's what I'm going to mark, indicate the chest line, and that's one is going to be at 9 inches there. So I'll mark that down. Then after that, the waistline, I'll have that at 17. Okay, then the next is going to be the hip line. I have that at 24 for the hip line. I'll mark that down. Then of course the length, so the length of this gown is going to be 40. Then I have like extra 2 inches that I'll be using for the hemming allowance, and that makes it what, 42. So totally depends on your desired length. So having it all mapped out, I'll go ahead now and take off the remaining excesses. Then I'll get my straight lines all the way, so you can see. So I also go ahead to label it, the chest line, the waistline, the hip line, and of course the hem line. And that's what we have here now. So the next thing I want to do now is to fold it in like so. So we're just folding it in so that we don't get distracted with that button space. We'll come back to it later. So we can now take our 3 by 8 inches mark to get what our shoulder measurement. So at that 8 inches point, came down by 1 for my sloped, mark 3 inches from there. Then I'll go ahead and connect it to get my slope. Now the next is the shoulder width. The shoulder width for this person is 16 divided by 2, that's 8. So I'm extending it all the way to the chest line. So from the slope to the chest line, you measure it, whatever you have there, you divide it into 2. That's the midpoint. So at that midpoint, you go in by 0.5 inches, and there you'll be able to get your front armhole, which is what we're doing right now. So you can see this now. That's it. Now the next thing now is going to be to impute the body circumference. So on the chest line, you fix the bust circumference. For this person is 42. So divide by 4. We have 10.5. So I'll mark that down. So I'm going to add extra 3 inches as well for the allowance. Now on the waistline is going to be 36, 38 rather, for the waistline. Then divide by 4, 9.5. I mark that down. I'll add also 3 inches. Then for the hip was 44 divided by 4, 11. I'll mark that down. I'll also add the 3 inches then. Now on the lowest part, the hemline there, I'm also going to fix the same hip measurement there. 44 divided by 4, 11 plus the 3 inches. And that's it guys. So I'll just go ahead now and connect all the points together like so. You can see this from the waist to the hip and down to the hem of the dress. You can see this now. So the next thing I want to do now is to create a curve by the side. So I'll take on that fold part, I'll take nipple to nipple distance, or the bust span distance of 8 divided by 2, 4. Then I'll come to the end of the other side and go up by 5 inches. So I'll go up by 5 inches like so. Then I'll go ahead and connect it to that 4 inches point that we marked. You can see this now. So this is just to eliminate the sharp edge by the sides. And that's it here, guys. So moving up now, I'm going to mark the neck measurements. I'm using the neck width of 3, still maintaining that. Then this is the front, so I'm going to still use the neck depth of 3 as well. So it's 3 by 3 here for the front. So I'll go ahead now and make my curve. And guys, we're done with the front drafting. So you can see this now. We have this all. Yeah, so we're done here, guys. So I'll just go ahead now and cut this up. But before that, on this shoulder, I'm going to take away 1 inch. So this 1 inches we're taking away, we're going to replace it when we're cutting it for the back. So the reason why we're doing this is because we want the shoulder to fall to the front. Okay, yes, so I'm going to take off 1 inches from my already drafted shoulder here. You can see this now. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. So when I'm cutting, I'll discard that part. And that's it, guys. So I'll go ahead now and cut this out. So this is the points where you hit the subscribe button. If you've not done that, please subscribe, like, share with your friends and sewing communities. I'll really appreciate this a lot. Okay, thank you so much. So opening up the button space now, you can see this now. We can now open this up. So I'll just go and cut off that sharp edge there. And I like to notch the top and also the bottom of our front piece there for the button space there, and we are good to go here. So setting this aside, we'll move to the back piece. Now for this back piece, you can see there's a line at the top. I have about 3 inches there. You can do 2 inches, you can do 3 inches. We have that line because we're going to be extending the back shoulder, remember. Now for this front, back piece, now you can see I have 0.5 inches there. So this is meant to be on fold, right? But because it's a mixed print, you are mixing 2 fabrics, so that's why we have to sew up that line there. I hope you understand. Now from this top part, now all I'm going to do is to impute everything that I have marked for my front piece. So we're just doing a repetition here. That's it. Okay, just imputing everything, the length, the body circumference, and just everything that we did for the front drafting. That's exactly what I did here. You can see this now. Then for the back neckline, the depth is just 1.5 inches. That's the only difference. Now moving over to the shoulder, remember we are now going to replace that 1 inches we took away from the front. But instead of replacing 1, we are replacing 2 inches. Why? Because we are going to be joining the shoulders with 0.5 inches on both sides. So that's why it has to be 2 inches. So you can see me extending it now. So I'm going to adjust the armhole upward. And also going to adjust that curve, the curve neckline upward. You can see this. And that's it, guys. So that's it here. We're done here. So going ahead now to cut this out. It's so straightforward, guys. Trust me. If it's a little bit, confusing, just go over it again. I'm sure you get it right. Okay, there's nothing difficult at all. So this is it, guys. We're done with the entire drafting here. So the next thing, of course, is to go ahead and start joining our entire piece. So I'm going to be sewing up that 0.5 inches, like I said. Now for this button space for the front, so look at how this is how we are going to make our fold. Now look at this now. On this pattern part, I'm just trying to indicate that 3 inches as well, so it will be visible. Now I'm going to be folding like so, the first fold on the line, then the next one directly on that line. I hope you understand. Just follow what I'm doing. You fold like so towards the line, like this. Then you now fold again. The fold will now be on that line. I hope you can see this now. But on the other one, you're going to just make a tiny fold, not necessarily up to 0.5, then you fold towards the line. A tiny fold, then you fold towards the line. You can see the 2 differences. The other one, you fold on the line, while this one, you fold towards the line. Okay, and that's it, guys. So that's how we're going to be doing this now. So it doesn't matter which one you choose, okay, but one thing you need to know is that when you're cutting out for either one, the back piece, just make sure that you align it very well first. Very important, so that you don't mix it up, because if you just cut like that, you might get it mixed up. Remember that the front the one that has the pattern has to rhyme with the one that has the pattern for the front and the back. You can see what I'm showing you now. You can see one side for the front there, the back has to align, then the plain side also have to align. So the reason why when you cut your front piece, make sure you check it out first before you cut for the back piece to make sure it's aligning very well. So that depends on how you now place your fabric to cut. I hope you understand. Yeah, so that's it, guys. So now we've joined it. Now you can see join the back like so to put it in one piece. You can see this now. And for the front one, so before I make my fold, I had to put an stay here on that button space there. So I'm going to be ironing it out. So I have to iron it out. So once I'm done ironing, then I can now make my button space. I'll do that later. Now we're going to be cutting out for the sleeve. Now for the sleeve, using also the mixed prints, right? So we're folding the two fabrics together. This is going to be like a 3/4 length sleeve. So but what I have here is 14 inches. So but I'm going to be adding a band of about 2 inches. It's actually 5 inches in width. So by the time you fold it into two, that will be 2.5. Then when you're done sewing, it will now be what? 2 inches for the band. Okay, so we're just going to iron the interfacing on the each piece there. Then you fold like this and sew. That's how it's going to be. So setting this aside, we'll just go ahead now and cut it out. Like I said, it's 5 inches in width. All right, so from the top there now, what we're going to do is to, first of all, you go ahead and mark the cap side. I'm marking a cap side of about 5 inches there. I will extend it towards the edge. You can see this. Then this slanted line, I will measure it and divide it into two. When I measure it, divide it into two to get the midpoint. Now on that midpoint, I'll just make an inverted edge, just like you see me doing. Okay, and that's it. So that's it here. You can see this. Then the next thing, of course, you want to check is just to be sure that this is going to align with what you already have on the armhole of your dress. Now for the vertical, I indicate the biceps at 7, then of course the length of the sleeve. Now my biceps, the round circumference there is 14, divide by 2, and that's 7. Add extra 1 inches there for me. Then on the lowest part there, you have 13 inches for the circumference for the elbow there, and we marked about 1 inches as well for the extra allowance. So you can see this now. We're going ahead to connect it all together. And that's it. That's simple, guys. Our sleeve is ready. So I'll just go ahead now and cut this out. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you've not done that. Please, please, please subscribe, like, and share. Okay? Thank you so much. So in fixing the band now, you can see what I'm going to do. After applying my interfacing, there are actually two ways you can attach this band. You either fold it like this and sew, okay, then you have it going down that way. After ironing it, you repeat the same thing for the other side. Fold it into two, just place it right side and sew. After that, you bring it down like so, okay, or you sew it in plain the way it is, like without folding it. You sew it right side to wrong side, you sew, okay. Now you sew just like you see me using my pin to demonstrate this. Once you're done, then you will now bring it to the front and top stitch on top of it. Top stitch, you can see this. So these are two ways you can actually attach your band, whichever one you prefer, okay. Yeah, just that this one will kind of hide that hemline inside, okay. Yeah, so that's just it, guys. So I'll go ahead and finish all this up, then I'll come back to show you the next step. And when I was done, you can see we've attached made our button fold there. You can see this now, it's all ready. And now you can see the shoulder joining. I went ahead to join the shoulder. So when I arrange it now, you have to arrange it from the lowest part, from the bottom, align it very well. Now looking at it now, you can now see that that shoulder joining is now at the front. So that's what we're trying to recreate. You can see this now. So which means that we are making another shoulder. You can see I'm notching it now. It's very important. So this is our new shoulder, not the one that is now moving, is now at the front there. I hope you get it. So that place we notch now, that is where we're going to attaching our sleeve. Okay, yeah, so we're going to attach the sleeve, the pattern to the pattern of the dress, while the plain sleeve to the one or the other side. So once we attach the sleeve, just go ahead now and join the side. That's it. Join the sides on both sides. After that, you can also go ahead and hem the lowest of the dress. Okay, then of course when we're done, we'll come backwards to fix the collar. All right, so at this point now you can see I'm done with the hemming of the lowest, and you can see the sleeve has been attached. You can see this. Our outfit is almost ready here. Yes, so the next thing of course is to fix the collar for this dress. All right, so first thing I'll do now is to go ahead and measure what we have round that space from one button space to the other. Just go round the neckline. Take your time to do this. You need to go over it 2 or 3 times just to make sure that you have the exact measurement. So I have about 14.5, 24.5. Sorry, that's what I'll be working with. So you can see I have these 2 pieces of fabric. So I'm going to be using one for the main and one will represent the lining. Okay, totally depends on your choice if you're doing a mixed print here. So now what I want to do now is I'm folding it into 2 like this. I'm going to be cutting 2 of them together, but I want to draft on one first. So once I'm done drafting and I want to cut, then I can now place the other one underneath. Okay, yeah, so we're going to be drafting on this one first. So you can see this now, I have it in place. So I'm just going to mark a startup line, a straight line here. So I'm going ahead to mark a straight line there. You can see this now. So now that we have this now, remember we said what we measured around the neckline was 24.5, right? So by the time you split it into 2, that's going to be 12.25. So we have to split it into 2 because we have this folded into 2, right? So I'm going to mark that 12.25, mark that down. Then you also go ahead and add 0.5 inches extra for the sewing allowance there. So I'll go ahead and mark that and make a straight mark there. You can see this. Now from that point to where we have that line, you get the measurements now and split it into 2, more like you get the midpoint there. Now whatever the midpoint is there, you take note of that there. Then you come to that very edge there and you go upwards by 0.5. Okay, you can see what I'm doing. Now this 0.5, now you go ahead and connect it together using your curve part, using your curve ruler, just like you see me doing. You can see this now, and that's it. Now the next thing now is to now put in the width of the collar stand. So I'm working with 2 inches. You can do 1.5. So but you remember this is my fabric, so I have to put in all the allowances together here. So I'm marking 2 inches all the way. You're just going to follow that shape. Even when you get to the curve part, you start marking your 2 inches from that point. You can see this now. So going ahead to extend that line to the point, then I'll just connect all my points together. The part that is straight and the other side is not straight, so I have to use my curve ruler as well. So you can see this. Apologies for the fainting you have on my camera. I don't know what's going on, but it's just some parts of this video. I really apologize, guys. Okay, yeah, so now you can see this now. So I'm going to move up 1 inches inward, okay, just to create a curve at the edge there. You can see this now, and that's it, guys. Our the collar stand is ready here. We're good to go. So I'll just go ahead and cut this out. Okay, yes, so I'll go ahead and cut this out, but of course, like I said, I can now place it on the other piece, so I can just cut everything out together. So you can see this now, going ahead to cut it out, and our first collar is ready. So setting this aside, we'll now cut the main collar there. So I already have my straight line as well. We'll go ahead and repeat the same thing. Remember it was 24.5 divided by 2, 12.25. Mark that down, still add my 0.5 inches extra as well, like so. Then I'll also make a straight line. You can see this now. Now the width of this one, I want it to be 4 inches in width. So by the time I'm done sewing at the top and at the bottom there, I'll be left with 3 inches. So I'm working with 4 inches. Remember, I'm marking on my fabric directly. So I'm marking 4 inches now. I'm going ahead to mark a straight line, just like you see me doing. You can see this now. So now this is done. The next thing I want to do now is to go up by 0.5 inches on the unfold part by the side. You can see this now. Then I'll align it to the edge of the other end. You can see this. Now I'm going to go in by 1 inches there and make a slant just like that. And that's it, guys. It's that simple. We're done, guys. We're done. So I'll just go ahead now and of course cut this out. Guys, don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you've not done that. Okay, yes, I'll appreciate this, guys. So we have our collar already now. So I'll go ahead and place it right side to right side. I'm going to sew. So you're going to be sewing the sides all the way. The only part you'll be left open is this lower part there. When I was done sewing, I went ahead to trim off some excesses there and of course gave it a notch. Then flip it to the other side. Okay, use the scissors to poke the edges. Then this is what you have. So at this point, I couldn't iron, but I still need to go ahead with this sewing. But very important, you must iron at every stage, especially when you're, fixing your collar. So once I was done now, I now place the other end as well. Make sure it aligns at the center. You can see this. Make sure it aligns at the center. So once this is done, I'm using my pin to demonstrate. Then you will now bring down everything. You have to sew the curvy parts there. Then you bring it down and this is what you have. So I'll go ahead and finish this up, okay? When I'm done, I'll give this a very good press, of course, then I'll come back to fix the collar. And guys, this is what you have when you're done ironing it. This is it. Our collar is ready to be attached. Okay, so the next thing of course now is to start attaching the collar. Okay, you can see this now. So it totally depends on where you want to be, at the front or at the back. That's because this is a mixed print. Okay, yes, so it totally depends on where you want. So I decided I wanted the back to come out to be the one that is visible. So I had to start sewing from the wrong side. Okay, I mean from the right side rather. You sew from the right side, like I'm using my pin to demonstrate, just to a point here. After you're done sewing, you can see this now. Then you now take the one on top. You can now make a top stitch. You can see what I'm demonstrating. You can now take the one on top and top stitch on top of it, and this is how it will look. It's that simple. Okay, yes, it's that simple, guys. And once you're done, our collar is ready and this beautiful outfit is ready, guys. Thank you, guys. We've come to the end. See you on the next one. I appreciate you. Bye.